Hello everyone, and welcome to Sethaldor's World of Warcraft Guides. This will be the Ret Paladin Specking Suggestion Guide. I am going to put a disclaimer on this. Again, Ret Paladin, I hardly ever get to play Ret, so take everything with a grain of salt. On top of that, I'm going to go very quickly over the glyphs for Ret Paladin, as the minors suck for all paladins, and the majors, there's not really anything too epic or good. So we'll be primarily talking about the prime glyphs. Now, as for prime glyphs that a Ret Paladin may be interested in, we have Glyph of Crusader Strike, which increases the crit chance of Crusader Strike by 5%. Glyph of Exorcism, which causes Exorcism to deal 20% of its damage over 6 seconds. Additional damage over 6 seconds, I should say. Judgment, your judge increases its damage by 10%. Also have Seal of Truth, which will increase your expertise by 10, and Glyph of Templar's Verdict, which increases damage of Templar's Verdict by 15. People, and by people I mean half the raiders I talk to, and the other half disagree and agree with me, would say that Glyph of Seal of Truth is a must-have now that you can't get expertise on gear. Honestly, I've never ever had expertise on any of my melee DPS guys, and I've always done fine. So I would rather go for damage increase, but some people say, hey, expertise is important, it's just as important as hit rating. So if you're one of those guys, go for it. Grab Seal of Truth, but I'm going to mark that one off for my suggestion, because I personally would not take the Seal of Truth glyph. I would take, obviously, Templar's Verdict. Any Ret Pally without the Templar's Verdict glyph is obviously not a Ret Paladin. 15% more damage from your heaviest hitting attack. You kinda need that. Now, as for the other two, we can select from Judgment, Exorcism, and Crusader Strike. So if we look at the flat numbers provided here, Judgment would provide 10% increased effectiveness, Exorcism would provide 20% increased effectiveness, and Crusader Strike would provide 5% increased critical strike chance, which isn't even overall effectiveness, i.e. damage. So I think it's pretty clear that I personally would grab Exorcism and Judgment over the Glyph of Crusader Strike. So for a PvE Ret Paladin, I would take Glyph of Exorcism, Glyph of Judgment, and Glyph of Templar's Verdict. Now, for the major glyphs, I'm not going to go down and read each specific one of them. Go ahead and check out my Holy and or Prot glyphs guide for those. The only one I will read is Ascetic Crusader and Hammer of Wrath. Ascetic Crusader reduces the mana cost of your Crusader Strike by 30%, and Hammer of Wrath glyph reduces the mana cost of Hammer of Wrath by 100%. As for major glyphs, there really are none that will help increase your damage output. It's really just increasing your longevity, as far as I'm concerned. So I would grab Ascetic Crusader, I would grab Glyph of Hammer of Wrath, and I would also grab Glyph of Rebuke, which reduces the mana cost of Rebuke by 100%. Again, feel free to disagree with me on this. Retribution is the one that I have the least experience in. However, this is simply what I would pick and recommend. And as for minors, minors suck for all paladins. So pick your favorite buff, pick your favorite seal, and not only that, but some of you might notice that in the Shattering, they decided to remove the one useful minor glyph, which would be the Lay on Hands minor glyph. So now paladins have 6 stupid minor glyphs. Paladins got shafted in the minor area. Just saying. So, now let's look at primes for PvP. I would pick the same 3 primes for PvP. The Exorcism Dot would be nice to stop rogues from getting away unless they cloak, and it's just 20% more damage you have rolling on everybody. 10% more Judgment damage will be nice because Judgment is one of your longest range abilities with a PvP spec, and 15% more damage from Templar's Verdict is still 15% more damage regardless of whether it's an NPC or not, which all beats out 5% more crit in my opinion. Now, let's go look at major glyphs for PvP. Major glyphs for PvP, I would look at Glyph of Cleansing might be a good idea. Less mana burnt to cleanse yourself means more to DPS other targets. It depends on how much you find yourself cleansing, because I tend to cleanse all my friends and myself. Hammer of Justice might be a good idea to pick up as well. You give yourself a little range on your stun, and you can run them down. And Turn Evil might be a decent idea too, depending on how many warlocks you end up fighting. But I would definitely take... Oh, Longword might be a good idea in PvP too, which takes half of the healing your Word of Glory does and turns it into a hot, which could be good. So honestly, what I would pick for a PvP ret glyph setup would be Longword, Hammer of Justice, and probably Hammer of Wrath to reduce the mana cost of that. And as for minors, again, pick your poison, they all suck. And that has been Paladin glyphing for Retribution Paladins with Sethaldor the Kingslayer on the server Blade's Edge in the Guild Sacrilege. Thank you for watching and listening to my guide. I can't wait to put out another one for you guys. And please subscribe, rate, and comment. See you next time.